Gonna have a garden update today and start with mint, which is usually where we end. So, mint is flowering. It's gorgeous flowers. It's been a strange year so far. But, anyways, mint is flowering. And these burbles are ready to harvest. And I will walk across the lawn. Seasons are at the front of the garage, basically, which is that wall there. And we'll just walk across the lawn to the rest. And on this side, got the onions here. You can see they're not doing a ton, but they are bigger than they were when I put them in here. And some of them are obviously having a hard time. Most of them. The pineapple experiment looks like it's doing okay. Over here, the Walla Walla sweet onions seem to be doing just fine. They're all green. And the zucchini plants are, they gave us one, which I harvested. And other than that, they're not doing much right now. And there's not a whole lot happening with my plants that are flowering plants. The greens are doing alright. The lettuce here, looking gorgeous. It's all ready to start using for salads. Had some yesterday. Tasted great. Got some cilantro here. And apparently I planted half a row of cilantro because that's all that I see here. I do have 2 rows of carrots. You can see under some of this lettuce that there's carrots there in the second row. And beans over here. And someone up there complaining about me. Check out my previous video for more of that footage. And beets. That's what else is in here. Transplanted garlic totally didn't make it. So I'll probably just pull that up. Or I might trim it off and leave it for next year. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Over here, got some multicolored greens for salad. Transplanted onions, which are also having a hard time. And garlic, which you can barely see. Got some bell peppers here. These are the purple bells that have not gotten any bigger than when I transplanted them. They're barely starting to have new growth here. They've been in the ground here for 3 months, I want to say. At the very least 2. And some tomato suckers that I stuck in the ground, and they're starting to grow as well. Down there, there's a few more. Here I've got some more garlic. This side's a little bit bigger. And here I've got cantaloupe, which transplants died, and these are from seed. And those have been there for the same amount of time which this has. That was purchased seed. This is seed for my harvest from last year. This is spaghetti squash, and I've got to get the trellis up on this side so that that can vine up and not take over the bed and everything else that's in there. And let's see if there's still any here. Yes. If you recognize those leaves, that is my watermelon. It's labeled because the transplant was here. transplant died. These are from seed. So 3, it looks like, yep. 3 watermelon plants that have sprouted from seed. And those have been there, again, since seeded for the same amount of time as all of this, which is now fruiting, it looks like. Or just flowering. Maybe just flowering. This is the spaghetti squash. There's some more of those suckers that I stuck in the ground over here, and you can see they are starting to grow. Guy's up there complaining still. As we move over to the next bed, got some pollination going on, which I appreciate. And let's see where it's for. Yes. Okay, so we got some pumpkin here. These corner plants are pumpkin. These ones I'm excited about because they're actually fruiting. Because these are a green pumpkin. And they're similar to the ones that are used in Chile on a regular basis. They might be the same ones, I'm not sure, but I'm really excited about those. And then we've got cucumber from here to there, and acorn squash here in the corner. Acorn squash has been fruiting and not maturing. There you can see that example. And I just put up this little bit of wire so I could trellis last week because it's going the wrong direction. It's all going through my tomatoes, which you'll see momentarily. I gotta come guide them all over here. So yes, I manipulate growth patterns in that way so that we can have them come up. There you can see it's on the tomatoes. So I'm gonna have to undo all of that and bring these vines up this way so that I can bring it up and have this continue to grow taller, because I want that to trellis that way, and I'll keep building it up as I need it and as I can. And then from here I want that nice distinct line where you just have leaves, leafy greens. There we can tell, look at that. Biggest one of the season. Looks like it's about 4 inches from stem to tip. And I'm happy about that. There we go. I've harvested just a handful of these tomatoes. It's a Super 100 that we got on transplant at the beginning of the season. I obviously have to do some trimming, and I have to fix my trellis. But you can see you've got plenty of green tomatoes, which are starting to ripen, and the trellis, let's see, is leaning in at the top, these 2 boards. So I'm going to put a board at the top of those to keep them apart, or at some point up there to keep them apart, so that they won't lean in on each other, and that I'll be able to continue to grow this taller as needed. So I'm okay getting on a bit of a ladder, but I want those to be well supported, and right now they're supported but not well supported. Now, raised beds for me is experimental, and I knew I was overplanting, and you can see here the result from that. Now, these are radishes. I did harvest a few radishes, but they bolted, and I thought, well, I'll just harvest the seeds since they bolted and let them be. the consequence from that, unfortunately, is that the lettuce that I had here, and I just had half a row of lettuce, and then the other half was spinach, which you can see a little bit of spinach down there still, but yeah, which meant that was sacrificed. And so as soon as I get some sort of harvest out of these bolted radish plants, they are coming out, and I'll do some more spinach probably, or lettuce, I don't know. I like the way that looks over there. Looks real nice. It's pretty lettuce and tasty. Here you can see the garlic in this bed is also, it's doing okay, but it's kind of getting choked out too by this radish. So I might just thin the radish even before I harvest, just so it doesn't kill everything around it. But you can see there that garlic's doing okay, which is good. And here you can see that cucumber has come through the tomato plants, because hey, tomatoes there, cucumbers there. Not my ideal situation, so I'm gonna fix it, because I have a place for the cucumbers and it's not in the middle of the tomatoes. And we love cucumbers, so that's why we planted them. Ooh, got some more pollination going on. Thank you, nature. There you can see that is working for that cucumber plant. Exactly what we want. And here you can see I've got to trim some suckers. So this is a sucker right here, and I've chosen to leave the flowers so I can get the fruit, but I'm not going to let it grow anymore, and then I will trim that after I harvest that fruit. And here is a sucker, you can see right there. I don't have my scissors with me, just bent it off, it will be fine. And then I continue to have the true main stem, which is here. So this sucker is going. There we go. And I need to make my trellis taller. So that is part of today's plan, is to support the trellis with 8 feet of distance at the top, so it cannot come together any more like it has been, which in itself will raise and tighten these supports and the twine, and then add more twine to support it. And I'm going to give you a walkthrough on the other side of these beds. Here you can see how that spaghetti squash is coming across. It's almost across the whole 4-foot width. It's across at least 3 of it now. And again, these are tomato that I just trimmed off of those plants over there and stuck in the ground here, and cross my fingers. I don't remember which ones they are, but they're there. And these are tomatoes that I planted from seed from previous harvests that I just stuck in the ground and said what will happen will happen. And there's one of the problems with having these vines come across, is they're gonna kill my other plants if I leave them like that, so I'm gonna take care of that later when I have both hands to do it. Here's another piece of tomato plant from a sucker that I cut off and stuck in the ground over here that's starting to do okay on its own. And under there you can see more beets, I think it is. Looks like it. So that's another reason for me to get the trellis up, because I have a row of 2 rows of beets, I believe, and a row of garlic over there on this side of that squash. Over here you can see the transplanted onions that are struggling. But that is a lot bigger than when I stuck them in the ground. 3 or 4 times bigger. So, struggling or not, they are still there. Still grown from when they were put there. So, I don't have any complaints. I'm loving these colors. I believe this is just that colorful Swiss chard. And here is one problem I've got. So, going to let him get out of the garden, not in it. Anyways, here's that last raised bed I put in so far. You can see there the 2 rows of carrots and the lettuce that is encroaching on my carrots. You can see the chives coming up here just barely. So chives here, carrots there. These chives are not coming up as much as I expected them to compared to what's next to them, because all this bed was planted at the same time. But I'm happy about these carrots doing as well as they are, and the lettuce looking wonderful. Gonna harvest some of that. This one's starting to bolt here. This might get some coriander and just reseed it from that one. And I have to harvest some of this cilantro. Hey, maybe I'll take the coriander from there and plant the rest of the row, which I thought I had. And these are feeling good, nice and full, healthy, crispy leaves. Looks like there might be some bug activity going on down there. Maybe under that one a little bit, but I'll just get some of these big boys harvested. I mean, look at that. That leaf is the size of my hand, and covering my carrots. So gonna do some harvesting and enjoy some fresh salad. These beans are grain beans, garden beans. So I expected them to be taller, but we'll see. I might just guide those on a twine up that side. I'm not sure if I'll put a piece of metal like I did over there for the squash. It needs more support. My green onions here, I put some Rainier cherry seeds in there to see if they would sprout. Whatever happens, it's fine with me. You can see these seeds are starting to dry out and be where they're harvestable for my green onions. Here is my raspberry plant, which has thorns at the base, but then as you come up they disappear, and looks like it is done giving me fruit for now. There's one more, dehydrated. I'm just gonna seed that, so hopefully I get more. Here's parsley, totally bolted. Gone dried out, so parsley seeds ready to harvest. And we hardly use parsley, so I'll probably just pull that up so that I can have nothing in the ground here. It's like most everywhere else. Getting ready for another bed with that, another raised bed. And over here, apparently there's some litter in my garden. No longer. I'm gonna trim up and utilize the dead leaves from the comfrey for putting in that next raised bed. Or I might scatter them on top of one of the beds that's already established and give it a boost. And the raspberries here are still raspberries to harvest. A lot of them have dried out, like those there. We went out of town for a few days, and apparently they're suffering. Here are these raspberries on this side, going through the same thing. Dried out, didn't get to harvest as much as we wanted, but we still got more than we did last year, and still some harvestable fruit here. And today's big news is the blackberries. Sorry for the shadow. Just this location. That's what's gonna happen. Okay, so lots of blackberries. Hardly got any last year, and they were late in the season. We've got a ton, and way earlier in the season compared to last year. So you can tell I tried some already. Let's see this one here. Look at that. The size of that last link of my thumb. That one not quite as ripe as I want. And they're coming out through this grass that I didn't cut because I didn't have good access to cut it. So I'm gonna have to sort that out. I'll trim it by hand. Take care of these fellas that have been growing through some of my building supplies for the cabin, on which an update is coming soon. And I'll get in and harvest. Look at that. Good harvest coming on. And I'll go around and see the other side there. Okay, here we are. You can tell these blackberries have been growing and taking over. Those are yummy. Those are really yummy. Okay, let's see here. Must be over 10 feet long there. Oh, definitely 10, 15 feet. Because right there's 5 feet there. There's definitely more than 5 feet after that. Well, look at this. This blackberry grew through, down and around, and into and through the strawberry barrel. So let me get that out. Don't need that. I don't know if we have any more strawberries. Doubt it. No, we have a lot more spider webs, that's for sure. But these strawberries haven't been getting much attention. My poor abandoned strawberries. but we'll get some new ones. New starts there. Serious amount of spider webs. I really haven't been over here much. Been busy. But here, this plant, blackberry plant, has come up on this side entirely. And I only planted from that post that direction. So everything else over here is new growth this year. And as nice, good sour seeds between my teeth here from those blackberries, which are enormous and delicious. But as nice as these berries are, I think I will let them grow themselves along this side as well, because they're good sized fruit, low maintenance, and really hardy. And this is a space that I'm underutilizing right now. So right now I have windows for the cabin sitting here, and that's something that I'm going to hopefully not have sitting there for very long, or very much longer. So that will be a space that's available. And once the cabin's done, we're gonna get the playhouse relocated. Might relocate it before that, I'm not sure. But I think I want to put it over by the tree. Leveling is the only issue there, but it's okay. I want to put it closer to that side where the kids can play. Really, the best spot there is right at the other side of where that picnic table is. But we'll see how it goes. The thing is that I had considered making a wraparound deck on the cabin and off a small attic area, and putting the sides off of that. So we'll see. If I wait to relocate it, then I might just disassemble it and share it with someone else if they want it, but utilize that green side at least. I'd have to give some extra support to the yellow one because that's come open a little bit and I don't want any toes catching in there and coming off. So we'll see what happens. So as I was doing the cabin floor, my son wanted to do a wood floor in his house, so we went ahead and did one. So that's what he put together. So now instead of a dirt floor under his treehouse, he's got a wood floor. His first. So when he was 6, he put in his first wood floor. Well, a little update. It's been a long time, a couple of years now, and so this is the roof that came with it. This didn't have anything and just had the frame to support it, and we built this real quick and it has held up just fine. You can see that bowing and such, but that is in a way that it still overlaps, and the area underneath it, as you can tell from the opposite side, other than that little knot there which is hanging over the edge, you can see that it still sheds water and doesn't let it drip on you, which was the whole purpose. Just didn't want it raining on my boy, so he could come out and stand up in his tree house in the rain when he wanted to. So that is that simple roof fix. And like I say, in a soon to come video, we'll give an update on the cabin, which is here and not in the state you saw it previously. So we will talk about that. In the meantime, thanks for joining me. If you've got some berry tips, then please share them with me, or if you know why there's that stunted growth with the plants I showed you in the raised beds, then please let me know. I appreciate it, and I appreciate your time and enjoying some of my garden. I'll enjoy yours if you share it with me. Thank you much, and have a great day. Oh, please give me that thumbs up, like, and subscribe if you are so willing. I appreciate it. Have a good one.